All right, taint ticklers. Here we are. We got what I'm thinking about probably doing for the points, unless multiple people have very good arguments as to changes. Um, so we got a lot of it's the same as last year, slight tweaks around, and have added a couple things. So passing touchdowns, 6 points, interceptions, -2, completions. This is a new one, 0.1 point. So every 10 completions would be an extra point. Um, so maybe something fun to be added into that. Passing yards, 25 yards per 1 point. That's still the same as last year. Pick sixes thrown, -3. That was the same as last year. 40-yard completions, 1 point. 40-yard passing touchdowns, and also another point, which means it's actually a 2 point play when he scores a touchdown in total of those bonuses. Rushing now, 6 points for the touchdown. Still the same 10 yards per 1 point. 40-yard runs is 2 points. A 40-yard touchdown, you get an extra point added to that for the touchdown. And then something I wanted to add this year for running backs is getting rewarded for first downs. So I got that at 0.5 points per first down. You'll notice that I did not do that for the receivers. And that is because I don't think the receivers should get a PPR and also first down, because more times than not, that reception is probably leading to a first down. So the receivers will remain the same as they did this past year. 6 points for the touchdown, 1 point per reception, 10 yards will equal that point for receiving yards. They get that 1 point bonus for a 40-yard reception, and they also get that 1 point bonus for the 40-yard receiving touchdown. You'll maybe say, hey, why does the 40-yard run get 2 bonus points while the 40-yard reception only gets 1? I looked up the top, I think it was the top either 10 or the top 15 running backs last year in terms of big plays. I think 40 yards was even one of them that you could look at. And then I did the same thing for running backs, the top 15 or 10 running backs, according to their 40-yard number of 40-yard rushes. And it was significantly higher number of those occurrences in the receiver game than it was the running back game. So I wanted to try to balance those out as best as possible. So that's why the running backs get 2 points for the 40-yard run, and the receivers only get 1 point for the 40-yard reception. Going on to kicking and punting returns, kick and punt returns, sorry. 6 points for a TD, and I lowered this down a little bit this year just to help entice maybe a lower end receiver who's going to be a big part of the new kickoff game. It was last year 25 yards got you to 1 point. I've lowered that now to 20 yards to get you that point. Some miscellaneous stuff here. 2 point conversions still going to be 2 points. Fumbles lost is still going to be -2 points. And offensive fumble return touchdown, 4 points. I have manipulated the kicking game a bit. Looking to add a little spice to this here. So your standard 3 points for the lowest tier, and then going up 0.5 points each level until you get to the 50 plus yards, and that's at 5.5 points. I can't believe they have not added that being at 50 to 59 yards and adding a 60 plus yards, being that a lot of dudes are hitting that. But I did add some stuff, I think, last year to help combat that a little bit. Before we get there, though, for negative points, -2 if you miss a 20 or less, minus 1.5 if it's 30 or less, and minus 1 point if it's 39 yards or less. Well, not less, but you know what I mean, to the threshold of before 30. Here, field goal total yards. Last year, we had it at 100 yards, got you a point. I lowered that also this year so that every 75 yards will net your your kicker a point. PATs is 1, and a missed PAT is -1. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I have this correct, that the PAT is somewhere in this range. I think it's like a 35-yarder these days. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's why I had -1 for -1. Onto the defense. I'm glad everyone is saying that they want defense to be a part of this. Everything that I was reading online for Dynasty says eliminated or no one uses defense. I love defense, like most people are saying. So I even went ahead before I even knew that, and I tweaked some stuff here from last year. Shutouts, I upped it to 12 points. If you're under a tutty, it's 8. If you're letting up 7 to 13, we're at 5. 14 to 20, we're at 3 points. 21 to 27 points, you're getting 1. And then from there on out, you're losing points. 28 to 34, it's -1. And if you're getting 35 plus put up on you, it's getting hurt even more this year at -4. Sacks are at 2. I figure sacks happen way more often than interceptions. Why should they be at the same point level? So I added 0.5 to the interceptions. Fumble recoveries, I also upped those to 2.5 as well. Touchdowns are still going to be 6. Safeties, I think were 3 last year as well. Maybe I upped them potentially. Block kick is 2. Kickoff and punt return touchdowns are going to be 6 as always. 4th down stops, I thought I should up that a little bit from last year. Last year, 3 and outs and 4th down stops were both 1 apiece. I figured 4th down stops are huge because not only are you getting the ball back, but it's a potential momentum shifter. So added 0.5 there. 3 and out force, there's the 1 and the extra point returned. I upped that. I can't remember what it was, but I figured if you're somehow taking that extra point and taking it back to the house, you should get at least 5 points. I changed the bonuses around a little bit. For quarterbacks, your first bonus sets in at 300, then 350, then 400. And the points you get for that are 1, then 1.5, and then 3. So if you actually do get to 400 yards, not only are you getting that 3, but you're getting the 2.5 prior to that for a total of 5.5 bonus points there. And then the same thing then applies with rushing at 100, 125, and 150 for, again, a 1, 1.5, and 3 point bonus points. Receiving, same point spread, but different benchmarks to achieve them. But again, starting at that 100 mark, then 150, then 175. And then finally for the kick and punt returns, are at 75, 100, and 150. Again, they're a little bit lower to help incentivize someone to take maybe a receiver 4 on a team, but that receiver 4 is a dog out there in the return game. So there are, this should actually be 3 as well to follow suit with that. So if anyone has any grievances or would like something changed in points, or you saw something in the list as I was going through it that I did not check or activate, and you think, hey, we should maybe think about it, send it in, and we can get it going.